Hello online crew, welcome to Social Media Tip of the Week edition 32. And oh my gosh, there's so many changes to do with Facebook and Instagram. I can't possibly share them all with you on this live, but I'm going to give you a little snapshot of some of the things that if you don't already have them, they are coming. So what's my tip of the week? Stay tuned to next week to where I'll go into a little bit more detail about what these changes are. Hello Olive, how are you? And also I've got something really exciting to talk about next week. So you got to tune in with me next week, guys. But spring is in the air, or we're not officially, no, it's just a beautiful day here. Can't say that I'm necessarily 100% yet. You can probably tell that, but I do have comments. Hello, Monica. How are you? My comments aren't moving though. I'm not sure what the problem behind that is. Hello, Cheryl. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm not sure my husband is a big fan of me at the moment though, because I coughed all night long. The poor thing. He's been out camping again with the boys and some mates and stuff like that this week, so he's been spare to it. But last night, yeah. Anyway, the social media tip of the week is something that I like to highlight at the end of the week that's just either something I've been talking about during the week that I want to highlight, or something that's coming, something I think you should know about, something I think you should concentrate on, something that I've been doing in my business that is working or not working that I want to give you a tip about. And I just couldn't nail it down to one this week because there's just so many changes that are coming on Facebook. So I'll give you a little bit of a heads up as to what that is. And as I said, please stay tuned with me next week. It's, hey Charlie, how are you? Great to see you guys on. Cheryl, Lynn, hey Florence. And if we haven't met before, guys, my name is Helen Martin. I don't normally sound like this. Those of you that have been with me this week will be familiar with this kind of sound, but I'm still trying to recover from a bit of a cold or a flu or whatever it is that's deciding to hang around. But it's certainly not dampening my spirits. We started the video challenge on October the 11th. It's not too late to get in. You can catch up, guys. There's a link to the free group above if you want to be a part of that. It's so cool. People are so nervous, but they're pushing themselves, and it's just amazing. I just love the video challenges. Hello, Tammy. Hey, Afril. How are you? I'm getting there, Afril. Thank you. So my name is Helen Martin, and I am your online crew captain at service for this awesome online crew community here. So we are entrepreneurs, direct sellers, home-based business owners, network marketers, and what we do here is learn to leverage social media with modern online strategies to grow our business. So the last thing we want to do is convince anybody to buy anything off us or go into business with us. We truly want to attract people to us. There are ways and means to do that. You got to keep ahead of the game. You got to be consistent. You got to brand yourself properly. You got to put into attraction marketing strategies into place. And that's what we talk about here on my page. I do go live 5 days a week. So please set your notifications on to make sure you don't miss any of my free training here. Hello, Judy and Bob. Great to see you on. Tommy, what's wrong with my language today? My gosh, I'm trying to spit out too much too quickly. Tammy's got her top fan badge back. That's awesome. Okay, so let me get into what these changes are, okay? So one of them is to do with Facebook Lives. So what we can do with our Facebook Lives, if you're doing them, and if you're not doing them, you should be doing them because it's what helps you stand out from the crowd, is Facebook gave us the ability a little while ago to, what's the word I'm looking for? Trim them. So if you start a Facebook Live and something goes wrong, you fumble, or you're trying to end your Facebook Live and something goes wrong and you can't end it and you're sitting there for a couple of minutes going, oh, my button's not working, I'm not sure how to end my Facebook Live. Facebook now gives us the editing ability to trim it so we can get rid of our mistakes if we make them, which is awesome. What they've just brought in though is the ability for you to take clips. So trimming is just the beginning and the end. But taking clips enables you to segment certain areas of your Facebook Live, and that'll be saved in your video library, and you can repurpose it for maybe training, maybe an email. Here's a little snippet, go over here to my page to grab the rest. Like, think of the opportunities for you to take clips of content you've already done, training you've already given, and you can repurpose it. So those of you in my online crew coaching community, I'm going to show you how to do all these things that I'm talking about and how to actually execute them, because sometimes it's not as simple as it seems. I played around with this yesterday and it didn't quite go according to plan. So there's a few little things that you need to sort of work out to make it work. Okay, so that's a really cool one. If you go into the edit feature of your Facebook Lives, you'll see it. You should see it sitting there. Now, when Facebook rollout changes and Instagram, they take generally across the board at least a couple of weeks, if not longer. So some of the things that I talk about you don't have yet, you will have soon. Okay, because these are global rollouts of changes that Facebook and Instagram are making. Okay, so keep your eyes open, but certainly don't message me and say I don't have that yet, because it's impossible for Facebook and Instagram, or Facebook owns Instagram, to roll out everything to every single person around the world at once. So it takes a little while to roll out. So some things you may have and some things you may not. It is awesome, Cheryl, isn't it? I'm glad you see the potential in that. The beautiful thing about being in the online world is if you can repurpose content that you've already done and put it in other places and create curiosity, intrigue with snippets of videos, and then here's a link to my page to grab the rest. Like, it's awesome. It saves you time, it saves you energy in creating sort of content, those kind of things. So it is really cool stuff. Judy and Bob, good girl. You sort it out and then you can teach us. Well, that's basically about the size of it in my coaching community, isn't it? I'll work it out. I'll do the hard yards and then I'll just show you how to do it. Yeah, true. You noticed it this morning, Rose. Cool. So that's good that you're looking around. Karen, what have I missed what it is. I'll have to rewatch. So yeah, I'm moving on to other things. So just watch the replay. Okay, those of you that are using groups are maturing. You may be not there yet, and that's cool, but a lot is changing in groups, and they're just getting bigger and better and more organized and more features, that when you get to the stage that you do want to use a group somewhere along the line, if you're not already, you're just going to have so many cool features to adopt immediately. So one of the things, there's quite a few changes, which I'll go into more next week, but one of the changes that I want to highlight for you, because it's going to be so cool for those of you that are even in groups. So maybe you're not created a group, but you're in a group. There's a new feature called Post Topics. So what it's going to be able enable a group organizer to do. So like, you take my groups. I've got a few groups. I've got a free group. I've got my coaching group. I've got a group for the branding course. I've got a few groups. But what it's going to enable me to do, and those of you that run groups, or those of you that use groups, say you're in one of my groups, I can tag topics to my videos, like in the group. So what you can do is search a topic. You could search attraction marketing. You could search groups. You could search Facebook profile. You could search Facebook algorithm. You could search Facebook updates. Like, it's going to give you the ability to search for certain topics in groups that you are in, rather than having to find the information. Now, those groups that have got units in them, it makes it pretty cool for you to find information. But there may be information on topics in more than one place. So when you use this search tool, when the organizer tags the information, You're going to be able to put the word in the search tool and all these posts are going to come up. Let's say you put in attraction marketing. All the posts that have been tagged with the word attraction marketing are going to pop up all nice and cleanly for you in your newsfeed of that group. How cool is that? So if you're in a group, even if you're not running a group, that's a really cool feature that's going to be rolled out. I don't have it yet. So yeah, don't go searching for topics in my groups just yet because I don't even have the feature yet, but that is coming. And I think that's going to be awesome for not just the people running groups, but if you're in a group to be able to search for some information that you're looking for. Because sometimes when it's a busy news feed, things get pushed down the news feed and you can't find what you're looking for. So that's a really cool one. So that's to do with groups. There's other things with groups, but I just want to give you a little snapshot of, different things. My comments aren't moving at all. Rose, this is something I've been waiting for. Having the ability to sort will make it so much easier to find stuff. I completely agree. And groups are just, I told you many, many times from Facebook's conference like months ago that groups is a focus. Community is a focus. So when you can put groups of people, in the one space and create a sense of community, Facebook is all for that. So it gets rid of spam. People are choosing to be in a group. So groups are being favored. They are definitely a focus point for Facebook and they're improving them all the time. So if you don't know if you're ready for a group or not, those of you in my online crew coaching community, go to the groups bootcamp. Okay, because one of the things I go through is, are you ready for a group? Do you need a group? So it's a really, really important question. Or are you just recreating what you've already got on a page and then you're just confusing yourself and other people with where the information is at, okay? So yeah, those of you in my coaching community, go back to that bootcamp if you're trying to work out whether you're ready for a group or not, okay? So that's one thing for groups. Messenger. This is going to be so cool. This is a really exciting one for so many different reasons. You are going to be able to have the ability to share your screen or the other person share their screen while you're talking in Messenger. So think of that for training purposes. Think of that for team members. I mean, it'd have to be something that you've got on your phone, but somebody could be having trouble with something and it's like, okay, well, just share your screen with me and tell me what you're having trouble with and you'll be able to see their screen or vice versa. So hopefully you guys know that you can do video, calls in Messenger. Like, do things differently. Everybody types in Messenger. Do voice recording in Messenger. Do video chats in Messenger. And you're going to be able to share your screen in Messenger. Things are getting just so cool and so forward thinking that when you're ahead of all of this stuff, guys, and you're implementing it in your business, you're going to be able to move faster. You're going to be able to show things to people faster. You're going to be able to engage prospects faster. You're going to be able to train team members faster. It's just really, really cool changes that are coming. Karen, I've had the topics in one of my groups for a few months. Post topics, well, that's good. There are a few groups that they gave it to that trialed it in, but it hasn't been rolled out to everyone. So now post topics. So it may be possible that you've seen it before, but it's being rolled out to everyone, which it's not at the moment. So global rollout now. So that's the difference, which is cool. Okay, so that's really cool in Messenger. Stories. I love stories. Stories enables you to give the ability to be more brave, to show your life, to be funny, to show things that you wouldn't normally show on your newsfeed. Like this morning, I've put in my Facebook stories, the boys were, get this, it's the end of school holidays. Ollie has a meltdown last night because he realises that he was meant to do a massive project in the school holidays and tells us last night. Then gets all upset. I don't know how I'm going to do it in time because we're out today and we're out tomorrow and it's just like, man, we're not even home. And yeah, so this morning I said, right, no iPad, no TV, you got to get onto this project first thing. So he was up before I was, which never happens, on the kitchen bench doing his little project, and they just had some music on in the background. Both Zach and Ollie were doing some schoolwork, which is pretty cool. I didn't even have to remind them, they just did it themselves, but they had some music going in the background. So the three of us are all just dancing around. I mean, you have to turn the music on to get the vibe of the story, but we're all dancing around in the kitchen. I did a workout this morning, even though I still can't breathe properly. I did a workout this morning downstairs, so I'm still in my gym gear. We're all in the kitchen, and I just shared it with my Facebook stories. Like, you can be stupid. You can have fun. You can do things in Facebook stories that, yeah, you wouldn't normally post on your newsfeed. It's cool. It's really cool. And they're giving us more features. So you want to be using stories to get the features. If you're not using stories, you're not going to be in the front of the line to get the features. But they've had the question one there for a while, like you can ask a question. Now you can actually put an image on top of your story. So if you've got a logo, if you want to point to something and put an image of it in your story, if you want to get really cool and fancy with your Facebook stories on a business page or on a personal page, there's all these new features coming. Don't worry, those of you in my online career coaching community, I'm going to show you what they are and how to use them next week. Oh, and just a warning on that. So I'm doing a visual content bootcamp. So if you want to get visually, if you want to up your game, stand out from the crowd in visuals, quotes, branding, videos, all that kind of stuff, I'm doing a visual content bootcamp in my coaching community next week. You can get in, click the link above, you can get in for $1. If you want to stay, you want to stay. And if you don't, get out. You're in complete control. Doesn't worry me. But I'm going to have to break it into two, guys. There is way too much for me to show you to fit in next week. So there's going to be a part 1 and a part 2. And I'm going to bring the November bootcamp forward. So those that join now, you're going to get 2 bootcamps for the price of 1. Okay, so we're going to do all things visual in the next month. Cool stuff. You're still waiting for stories on your business page. Oh no. It'll come, Rose. Use stories more on your personal profile. I think you are anyway, but use it more. Hey, Matt, how you going? So you get that. And don't remember, there is a workaround. It does work for some people, but not for others. And that workaround, I've got a video of this in my free group, Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. It's also my coaching group, but it is in my free group. Just a reminder, for those of you that don't have stories on a business page, I can't say this will work for you, but try it. So if you're on a business page, you should be using this app here. So the one with the flag on it that says Facebook page, okay? That's how I get to my business page. A workaround with stories, try it. Can't promise it'll work. If I go back to the blue Facebook app, up the top is going to be, it's already showing there for me. But if I go to the hamburger, both my personal profile and my business page are showing at the top. When I go to the hamburger and pull up, both my profiles are there. Okay? So if I go to my business page from the blue Facebook app by picking the hamburger is the 3 lines down the bottom. Sorry, that's what I call the hamburger. Okay? I can get to my stories from there. So try it. Might work for you, might not. And I do have a video of that in my free Facebook group, Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. If you're not in there, get in there, because I throw little videos up every now and again to help you with these kind of things. Lynn, I'm still waiting for music for my stories. Oh no, the music is cool. The music is a good one. Sorry, the workaround doesn't work for Rose. Not guaranteed. That's a shame, but you just have to keep waiting. Ethel, I get more features when I go into Facebook apps than my Facebook page. Oh, that's interesting. So, and if you go to, also just a tip for Facebook stories, we go to Facebook stories generally by one of those. But if you go in you can go in via Messenger as well. So check if it's up here. Add to your story, okay? So that'll be more personal profile, but you can get to it from Messenger as well. So just check that, okay? So the new ones, layering adding a picture on top of your story and stuff like that, I'll show you guys in my online career coaching community next week. Okay, it's turning into bigger than Ben-Hur. That's why I have to split it up to part 1 and part 2. Yes, there is music with stories, Cheryl. And I'll make sure those of you in my coaching community know how to access that if you've got the feature. It's so cool to be able to put a tune to your story. It just adds a little bit, cool vibe. I'll do one after this video, Cheryl. So go to my stories. I'll do it on my personal one and put some music to it so you can see it. If you're not aware of it, you can see what it's like. Okay. There's other things with stories, but I'll fill you guys in my coaching community next week. Instagram has got heaps. Have to up my game with Instagram. I admit that. I'm not a big Instagram user because I'm so focused on Facebook because that's where the main traffic is for me. But one thing, and I put a post in my free Facebook group about this, was it last night or yesterday or something like that? Instagram's now got dark mode. So you can have that, but they've got GIF replies to stories. You can highlight somebody's comment from a story and put it in a new story. So if somebody's given you some good feedback on a story, you can actually capture that comment and put it in a new story. It's just amazing. I just got a whole list of these things. There's the countdown timer. There's new story templates in Instagram. It's just, we often find Instagram is a testing ground for Facebook. So a lot of things that you'll see come up in Instagram eventually end up in Facebook. So it's a good way to know sort of what's coming. Some of you may not be Instagram users, and that's cool. Just stick with Facebook stories. But there are a lot of cool features coming to Instagram. If you haven't got them already, they are on their way. So use those to your advantage. Anything that you can embrace earlier than everyone else, people are looking at it. It's like, how did they do that? That's really cool. That's a cool template. I haven't seen that before. Things that people haven't seen before, heard before, that you can do first just helps you stand out from the crowd. That's why you want to be in my Visual Content Bootcamp that is next week. And I'll carry that into November as well. But if you get in now, you're going to get both boot camps within the month. I've been layering, but not music in stories. Yeah, the music is really cool if you've got the feature. And I will add, the music is tied up with licensing in the country that you are in. So some countries don't have the music option because of copywriting laws, like they just haven't sorted it out yet. Some of you may not have additional features if you're not using stories very much. You're not going to get all the new features. Like music has actually been around for a while. Okay, but you're not going to get the newer features if you're not an active user of stories. So you really want to embrace stories because, first and foremost, it's almost like reality TV because you can share things in stories about your life that, as I said, you wouldn't normally put in the news feed, but people are intrigued by it. You just want to make sure you're doing it in a way that people aren't tapping forward, that they're actually looking and staying there. And there's interactive things on it to make people look to stay there. Because how the algorithm works in stories is if people tap, they're fast forwarding, and the algorithm knows that. So if you put really bland stuff in your stories, that's just a static picture, like looking at one picture with no words, no music or anything on it, it's a really long time to look at that one picture for, a number of seconds, 5 or 10 seconds. So people once they've looked at it and absorbed it, they're gone within a few seconds. So you don't want people to tap forward on stories because the algorithm's tracking all of that and it's telling the algorithm they're not interested in this content. They're tapping forward, tapping forward. You can actually see that in your Facebook stories. Who tapped, how many taps forward and how many swipes and all that kind of stuff. It gives you that information on your Facebook stories. So by using interactive things, GIFs, things that are music, have music and all those kind of things, you're going to keep people more engaged in your stories. So there is an art. Don't worry too much about it. Just embrace it for starters. Just use the feature to start with, but get a little bit more creative. Those in my coaching community, I'll show you some tips and tricks around this next week, okay? So part 2 of the Visual Bootcamp will be, it's in early November, Olive. I just can't fit it all in next week. So I'm bringing it forward. So it'll be, hang on, Olive, hold that thought. So it's the, in your part of the world, Olive, it'll be, in my part of the world, it's 6th, 7th, and 8th. In your part of the world, it'll be 5th, 6th, and 7th. So I'm bringing it forward so you guys don't have to wait because you're going to start it and want to do all the rest of it. But so people can get both, okay? Matt, you have to work on your stories. So yeah, just start using them to start with. And you're in the video challenge anyway. So, just start using them. But get more creative with them to keep people there and make sure they're not tapping forward, okay? So that's all I'm going to leave with you today. That's enough for today. So the video clips on your Facebook Lives, the changes in groups, the changes in Messenger, changes in stories, changes in Instagram. Keep your eyes and ears open to all these things because it enables you to stay ahead of the game. It enables you to create things that other people aren't creating so you can get more eyeballs on you rather than somebody else. Stay tuned with me next week. Please turn your notifications on for this page. I'm going to continue this discussion next week, and I've got something really exciting to share with you next week as well, so you want to stay tuned, okay? So exciting things coming. Losing you internet in and out. Well, I'm not sure if that's my end or your end because my end is not coming up with any network sort of errors. So hopefully it's okay. All right. So those of you that are starting the weekend, have an awesome weekend, whatever you're doing. We are starting to warm up. The sun is shining. So my energy is awesome. I know some of you are starting to get really cold. Those of you in Canada, you're already having snow, I believe, or getting into, the snow coming. So I'm sending you sunshine and rays and have an awesome weekend. And please stay tuned with me next week because so many exciting things coming. Okay. So I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.